Hello, hello, hello. A Merry Christmas Eve to you all. Happy holidays, of course. Welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I'm here literally every single day of the year to take your questions out of the chat. Just leave your questions in the chat before I come on. We have epic troll slayers who've kept us safe for years. Thank you. And we have got a fantastic community because of you, because you have been so kind. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. They always are. So you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on like 1.25 speed. Whatever works for you. So, hello. Merry Christmas Eve from Ireland. Oh, thank you, B. Smith. Thank you. Merry Christmas Eve. Please forgive any. I've been decluttering and finding stuff, and this pile right here. That's where Boo Boo's sleeping right now, and that is a Santa blanket there, and that's the lighty pillow. Although you can't see it very well right now. And yeah. So, Kat says, Merry holidays from Alaska. Merry holidays to you. Hello, Angie from Feisty Butterfly Tarot. Do follow Angie on Feisty Butterfly Tarot. She's very good. She's such a sweetheart. So, Serena says, it's a declutter time of the year. Isn't it just? Thank you, Teresa. Rebecca Young says, Merry Christmas from Louisiana. And Merry Christmas to you from Chicago. All right. It's Christmas. Let's read on jerks. Yes, there are just some of the most awful Scrooges and Grinches and terrible human beings. Hello, Marby. Cute necklace. Did you make that? Asked Nettie. Oh yes, this is a pin that I just put on. I put on a chain. So, oh wow, Joanne Smith says Merry Christmas from Perth, Australia. Wow. Wow. Oh, thank you, Daniel. Amy, thank you. Amy gifted 5 memberships to random people in the chat. See, thank you. You're so sweet. All right. I pulled out the festive pulp tarot deck today because we are reading on some horrible people. But this is what we do. We look at the news together. We do this together, and then we can get on with our day. We can work on other things and be productive. That's how we do this. That's and the whole point of the overlays and all of this extra stuff and doing this live together. The whole point of it is that we are supporting each other and reminding ourselves that we're not alone. You're not alone. So, Sylvia says, Merry Christmas from as far north New York as you can get without being in Canada. Well, Merry Christmas. All right. Thank you, Debsy. Please hit the thumbs up, everyone. Thank you. Yes, Teresa, speaking of that, wishing everyone a happy holidays, except for Gaetz. He gets coal and an ethics report. Yes. So I started my day of, I guess I could pull 3 cards on this. 4:15. So I was listening to, House Sparks had one live stream yesterday. So I was listening to that this morning. And I only go and watch that if you are good with some details. He goes into details that are in the report. He reads from the report. Oh, Brenda gifted 5 memberships to random people in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. That's very kind. Woo. So, Gaetzy, the hazmat suit, hazmat Gaetz. Yeah, look, I've said this before. I was married for 2 decades. Oh, the person who said I don't look old enough to have been married for 2 decades, bless you. Bless you. No, I'm very, very, very open about people hear ad nauseum about my birthday and all of this and my chart and what have you. I am 53 years old. So, all right. Hearing some of the details of that in that report, look, I know what it's like to be in a relationship, a long-term marriage, or not a long-term marriage, to be in a marriage and hanging in there past the point where I should have. But if Ginger Lucky, which is her maiden name, if Mrs. Gaetz stays with him through this, that's just sad. This wasn't a one-time thing. He had regulars. He had, as Hal Sparks was saying, it was basically Timu. He and Greenberg were Timu, Epstein, and Trump. And there was a particular woman who worked like as a Ghislaine Maxwell. And this was a regular thing. And one of the things that just blew my mind was, and this is, I'm not giving any details about what was going on because I know, no, and I know there are little ears around. It's a daytime show, so I know there are little ears around. But apparently, 1 week of many, they apparently were running low on money, and so they messaged this woman and the women who would come to these parties and said, we're kind of low on money this week, so how about we make this a customer appreciation week? Oh, the implications of that. Oh, Goddess Val, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Oh, Lisa said, I do appreciate the effort for the little ears. Oh, good. Plus customer appreciation. Really? What, also when, in the Venmos, because he did various things, but in the Venmos, he didn't say in the memo like he's giving money, right, for tuition. He put in for tuition reimbursement. What, she wasn't giving you money for tuition. So, okay, anyway. Oh, Joanne gifted 5 memberships to random people in the chat. Thank you. Oh, gosh. Deb Z reminds us that Gaetz used Nestor's Venmo, too. Oh, jeez. Whew. So, anyway, Merry Christmas, Penny. Whew. This is bad. Hal doesn't think that Matty Boy is going to actually have a job at OAN. I don't know. It's just all of these people, they, it's almost a requirement, isn't it, to have some allegations against you in order to work for Trump, being his, I don't know what you want to call it, delusional band of ethically challenged jerks? I don't know. Anyway. Desert Dawn says, worse, those who wanted to protect him and hold back the report. They're despicable. Oh, Lewis says, scumbagometer. Oh, it is tilting. That needle is glued to the farthest. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Gene Hall, tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah, there was something at some point, wasn't it? They spent like $90,000 or something. Jeez. Anyway. So, all about the money. I just pulled some cards on it. All about the money. Because of his father, Gaetz has been sitting pretty his whole life because of Daddy. It was a bigwig in in Florida, the Panhandle. In this particular deck, and it's interesting that I really felt drawn to using this deck today. In this deck, that Eight of Pentacles it's usually the guy just working. It's a work a day, going to your job, doing your job kind of stuff. But in this deck, it's working under false pretenses. Because he's got this lady with not a lot on, actually nothing on, but he's not painting her. He's just mindlessly painting pentacles. So he has an excuse to look at the naked lady. And he's done it before. Look at all the other ones. That's the center card on this. It's like, yeah. Howling at the moon. Everything coming to light. Now, my understanding is Pam Bondi the person in Florida who would charge him or could charge him or will protect him or something. Because if this does involve crossing state lines, then it should go to the FBI, but we know that under Dumpy, it's not like his FBI director is going to be any more effective than somebody else who's been in there. I think our last couple of attorney generals haven't been everything they should have been. Let's put it that way. Putting that as mildly as I can put it. Anyway. Oof. Hello, Barbara. So, okay. So it's still awful. That came out, and he's gonna have big problems. That's what I'm getting. So, Daniel saying Garland has been a disappointment. Oh gosh, Valerie's reminding us Sage of the Scales Tarot. Is that Nimbus? Is that Nimbus the kitty? Yeah, you can read this. Do follow Sage of the Scales. Valerie's awesome. Yeah, I do know that. About she's been nominated for Attorney General. Yeah. Ugh. Thank you, Kathy. Merry Christmas. Raymond DePascal's asking Merrick Garland who? Yeah. Thank you, Kathy. All right. Well, I've got a whole bunch of questions for you, so let's jump in and we're just going to run the board. All right? You ready? You buckled in? At 1440. Cosmic Goat Lady had a question. Is Trump's support staff aware that he is mentally compromised? And do they hide it like that was done with Reagan? Let's see here. Does the staff know he is mentally compromised? Troy Wilson, wishing you and your family Merry Christmas. Lots of love from Cape Town, South Africa. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Joy. Lewis says, weekend at Dumpy's. Yeah. He's not exactly the he's not exactly the sharpest. Yeah. Oh, Mary Beth, thank you. Merry Christmas, all. Happy Hanukkah. A blessed duel. Great Kwanzaa. Thank you, Mary Beth. Thank you. So, hello, lucky girl. Sorry, I'm just greeting everybody today. It's Christmas. He's lost a step. He's weak. So, Knight of Swords. But he still has power. He still has followers. He's still the head of the patriarchal head of the MAGA party and his family and whatnot. Three of Wands. They're just waiting to get whatever they can off of him. There's the Sun card and the Two of Cups, and it will just become increasingly apparent. Because that's the thing when you live off of fast food and Diet Coke and you're drinking 12 cans of Diet Coke a day, every single day. It isn't just that and all of the fast food and what have you. It isn't, when they say your arteries become blocked, it's actually your veins, your capillaries, and you have a lot of them up here. And there can be a lot of little capillaries up here that do not fare well long before there's anything noticeable. Coco Brown says 12 cans is crazy. Yes. Jolie S is asking, how is his stomach not rotted away? Well, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Oof. Jersey Girl says, Merry Christmas from New Jersey. Wonderful. Oh no, Ms. Gibson. I hope you're okay. All right. Yes, it's bad. It's going to get worse. And so let's go on to, because I have lots of your questions. I want to get to as many of them as possible. Claude had a question. Could someone invoke the 14th Amendment to block Dumpy's inauguration because he is an adjudicated insurrectionist? Both houses would have to vote 2/3 to allow him to be president, which is unlikely to pass. Now, when you say that he's adjudicated, is that wasn't there a judge in Colorado? Is it Colorado? Who said he was, but I don't. I'll pull 3 cards. Betty Cantrell says yes. Thank you. 8 Shirts says Merry Christmas from Essex, UK. Wishing you a wonderful time. Merry Christmas from Chicago. Well, there's the country, but they're the. All right, let's just look at, because that's, let me change that. At 1945, it's a good year. Any year that where a war ends is a good year. Will Trump be inaugurated? on January. I don't know why my brain it keeps saying, isn't it the 21st? Are you sure it's the 20th? Isn't it the 21st? No, I'm pretty sure it's the 20th. Are you sure? I don't know why. It's just, we're not accepting. You're just not accepting that. Jim Davis is going to have Impossible Burgers from Costco today. Oh, Impossible Burgers are yummy. Tigress of Forley said, hello, just popped in to wish everyone happy and safe holiday. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Sharon Ann says if he isn't, he may inaugurate himself at Mar-a-Lago. Whew. Another American carnage. White supremacy speech. Confusing. Yes, indeed. It's so frustrating. Okay. This is setting up for the inauguration, all of that. Eight of Cups. We're just looking on. There are the cult members, the Republicans all out front, and the big old chariot, which would be the inauguration. And then Four of Swords, absolute silence. Legislative silence. Somebody want to explain? Because you get cross currents on the energy. So thank you, Debbie. Thank you. Thank you. This is all, yes, Trump inaugurated, but then that. There's silence there. Let's see if I can get any more information. Why is, what's the silence? The Four of Swords. So weird. It's Pluto. We're trying, the reason it's the energy, and I've said this before, I'm just trying to figure out ways to say it that maybe it'll be clearer, which is, Leslie, we could talk today, this afternoon at Creative Sprint, if you'd like, please. What was I going to say? Sorry. So something in all caps grabbed my attention. The reason the energy is so messed up is because our collective will is trying to assert itself. But the energy from the planet, these outer planet things are so strong, they're blowing through, because we live in the sea of energy, and the waves, the currents created by these outer planets doing something, changing signs, aspecting each other, what have you, which is all happening over these next few years. It kind of it overwhelms our collective will and kind of dissipates it, which is also why you have quite a few people who are like, I should be doing something. I want to be doing something. And still I sit here. But Betty Cantrell says, I'm living in two realities. It's what it feels like. I think that's the difference. It's our collective will versus the outer planets. Thank you. Is it Cursa? Is that it? I'm sorry, it went by very quickly. There's my mouse. Where's the pointer? Cursa. Thank you. So what is that Kathleen is saying Merry Christmas from Ecuador. Well, Merry Christmas from the US, Chicago. What's up with the silence? What is that Four of Swords? At bare minimum, the Republicans are going to have a terrible time passing anything. That's what I'm getting. Because Democrats are sticking together. Using every tool at our disposal. Every tool. So the Republicans go in. Now, this is if things continue going the way they're going. Because if the outer planets decide, you know what, let's do the other thing, then that's, yeah. Anyway, but if things keep going the way they're going, now at this point, the far right, they're just flapping their gums and just waiting for their ship to come in. But there's a King of Cups right there. It's kind of in the way. There's the Empress. There's the country. Five of Wands, trying to stir things up on the far right, but then Six of Cups, which is Democrat. This is Democratic energy. This is Democrats holding everything together. Thank you, Carolyn. Oh my gosh. Merry Christmas. That makes a huge difference. Thank you. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you. So, Carrie is thinking the silence is Trump's dementia. Who knows? I mean, it could be. What I'm getting here is it's at bare minimum, the Republicans won't be able to get things through Congress. It's too close. And there's a real chance that at some point here, Republicans will lose control of the House. It's a real possibility. There are so few seats. But the margin is, what are we at, 2 seats or 1 seat currently? Something like that. And certainly once they lose the House, it's done. They keep talking about a mandate. No, a mandate is when you've got a 2/3 majority and you can override a filibuster. Just winning an election is not a mandate. Not with these margins. Which means all your extremist garbage, excuse the term, gets stuffed. So, yeah. Oh, Astrotech, hang in there. All right. This kid says 3 seats are up for special election. There we go. All right. So at 28:35. Interesting question, Apple. Why is Trump attempting to fight or take down what seems like all the countries? Is it self-sabotage? I don't think it's necessary. Well, he definitely has a self-sabotaging streak. Absolutely. It's the difference between him and Ivanka. Trump is a raging sociopathic narcissist. But deep down, he knows. He knows he's not. Thank you, Mr. Till. You make every day better for us. Thank you. You make my day better. Thank you. Whereas Ivanka, the princess, she believes she's better than everybody. She believes she's the special, the chosen one. The rules don't apply to her. So she doesn't self-sabotage as much. She does dumb stuff, and she's corrupt. Just ask the Italian designers she literally just stole designs from. But besides the self-sabotaging streak, why is he so against. I mean, we know he wants to be a dictator, but he doesn't have to isolate others so obviously in order to try to be a dictator here. Then again, he's not the brightest. Lack of money. Who's willing to loan him money, give him money? Remember, he is one of the worst business people. I mean, look, I own a small business. I own an LLC, Book Art Media LLC. It's how I do this. It's how I do all 4 of my YouTube channels, how I do, all this stuff. And granted, I don't make a huge amount of money. I really don't. And I'm so grateful for your help. Oh, thank you. But you know how many bankruptcies I've had? None. Think about that. 5 of Wands. He's also belligerent. 3 of Wands. He's a bully. He despises women. 2 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles. There's some. Wow, I'm getting the smell of misogyny in the afternoon. That's what I'm getting here. His anger. He's angry. He has no emotional intelligence. He doesn't know how to regulate his emotions. He doesn't have coping mechanisms, not healthy ones. Amy says, I have no legal convictions. Yes, I don't either. So, yeah. Sherry Witt says he's afraid of strong women. I'm just getting, he just despises, because he is such a small person. Eesh. All right. All right, at 3240, Heather had a question. If things keep going the way they're going, if Heather was saying, we know the lessons that another Trump presidency will teach his supporters. I have my own ideas about the lessons and opportunities it will bring to those of us who rejected him. But what do the cards say? All right, well, if things keep going the way they're going, and it hurts my heart to even really talk about Mr. getting back into power, but what lessons will MAGA learn? What lessons will MAGA learn? We are used to dealing with the cult members, just a flat out cult members that they not only don't care, but every time they literally say things like, oh, he's an adjudicated R word. Oh, he has 34 felony convictions. We don't care. I've seen that. I've seen people saying that. You don't get it. We don't care about that. Really? It says a lot about you. Heather says, I was actually wondering what lessons we who rejected him will learn. Okay, I can look at that too. But they're not a complete monolith. The people who voted for him, they're not a complete monolith. And there are people who are waking up, who are going to wake up. So this is Trump's base of power, 3 of Swords. Even his people in his base, he promised he was going to get groceries down, and then he's flat out said he can't do anything about grocery pricing. Knight of Wands. Of course, you have those who are just going to, oh, no, just give him 2 more weeks. Just give him 2 more weeks. Everything will turn around. Everything will be great. Because I've got a big old Hanged Man right here and a 5 of Wands trying to stir things up. So there's some panic here. There's some, this is things not going well for them. And there are people. It's not happening as quickly as we want it to, but there are people who voted for him, who would have said they believed in him, who are, after a while, just realizing, you know what? My family is more important. I want to have a nice Christmas or Thanksgiving. I want to be invited back to birthday parties. If my grandkids or whatever it is, I want to get a date and not just have to hide my political beliefs. It's kind of funny. I was, oh, by the way, in case you are wondering, you are in the capable hands of an art history major. Yes, you are. And I did not finish. I admit that. I came within a couple of credits. I got very, very sick. But for years, I studied art history. You're welcome, citizen. I know you feel safer. But there was, because so much of art history is the history of men's art created by men. And if you think it's back now, imagine what it was like in 1990 to study it. One of the things that became pretty obvious was how much art over the centuries was made by men wanting to impress women. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Do you remember the sculptor Rodin? He was a cheaty. He was a cheaty jerk. And his wife found out about his latest model, side piece, whatever. She was so angry. And when she confronted him, they were in their kitchen, but he was still holding some clay from what he had been working on. She chased him around the kitchen table. And while he was doing everything he could to try to calm her down, so as she's chasing him around the kitchen table, he quickly made her likeness. To calm her down. So, yeah. There reaches a point where it's not fun anymore. So, never underestimate how much some people want to be with someone else and what they're willing to create, what good they're willing to do, what priorities they're willing to shift in order to achieve that. Jolie says art as manipulation. Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, it isn't, they aren't all bad. I mean, Rodin was a jerk. And don't get me started on Gauguin. I despise him with every fiber of my being. Rodin was the sculptor. Gauguin was a painter. He was the one who hung out with Van Gogh for a while. Yeah. Anyway, they weren't all the worst of the worst of the worst. Some of them really just, I mean, I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Alphonse Mucha, didn't he really love his wife? Wasn't that his thing? He painted all kind of beautiful women, but he also painted like history of the Slavs and all this kind of stuff. There's some of them. Anyway, and I'm not going to lie, I've always been absolutely upfront. It's like, oh, how did you get interested in astrology? I was a teenager. I was moving every year or two. And I basically figured out I could use astrology to kind of get a rough idea of whether it was worth talking to the cute guys I would meet, or if it was just going to be a waste of time. I wish I could say it was more high-minded than that, but as a teenager, that's how it started. I just wanted to know about the cute guys. And to this day, I wouldn't date anybody without looking up their astrology chart. So, anyway. All right. John Platt says, Mucha loved his wife and family. His daughter modeled a lot for the Slav epic. Thank you, John. Thank you. Yeah, they're astrology for lovers. Well, I was a teenager. Not quite, but yes. All right. All right. Don't do. Oh yeah, Raymond DePascal. I don't do drugs. I am drugs. Salvador Dali. Yeah, Dali. Whew, that man was nuts. But yeah, can't say he didn't love Gala. He loved her so much that in his own way. And they were together for a while, off and on. And then it got to the point where he couldn't come to visit her unless she sent him a written invitation. Not kidding. Yeah. You know somebody has had enough of you when they're like, do not come to my house without a written, literal written invitation. Yeah. So Tiger's Force says Dali was creepy. Yeah. And the more you learn about him, the more it's like, oh man, you are just one big red flag, aren't you? Norma, hello. Just dropping in to wish Autumn and everyone a very blessed holiday. I usually listen to this before I fall asleep. I can't watch the news anymore, and Black and Orange soothes me to sleep. Blessings to all. Thank you, Norma. Thank you. That's very sweet. Oh. Elisa says my 9-year-old loves Dali. Oh, I mean, there's the art, the actual paintings are magnificent. It's just, whew, the man. Rose Blue says the lead white paint made them nuts. Yeah, but some of them, it was, I know what you're saying, but there were artists who didn't go crazy. So anyway. All right. Partially. Yes, then we're in total agreement. Okay. So, sorry. What was I back to these jerks. Lessons that it will teach his supporters. Okay, at 40, I better change it. Let us take pity on those watching on replay using the timestamps. 44. There we go. All right. First of all, what will his people learn? Well, they're enjoying. They haven't learned yet because they're still in the honeymoon phase. Justice, stirring things up, Hermit, Seven of Cups, and the Fool. The good ones, the good people, will learn it's not worth it. Not worth it to divide us, to focus on the cruelty. Right now, they still have ridiculous ideas about what's possible, what they're going to do. I mean, if you go back and study the French Revolution, like you should, you could at least just go listen to a couple of podcasts. You would realize that this idea of overturning things and knocking it all down and doing all of this, it doesn't work. And then what happens is you think, yeah, we're going to do this. And then thereafter, if you succeed in any way, shape, or form, people come after you who take it even further than you wanted to. That's the thing. If, I love eccentrics. I love, creative people. But you have to be careful, because you just think you're doing your thing. But the reality is you could be opening the door. So be careful what you're opening the door to. It's not everything's not about the individual. You have an effect. And is it the Jacobites? Jacobins. I'm tired. It's Christmas Eve. They're the ones who were, we're going to do the revolution. And then the people after them were like, you are the enemy. You held us back. And they ended up visiting Mr. Guillotine. Jacobites. Thank you, Rose Blue. Sorry, my brain is just, whew. Allison asking, what podcast do you recommend for learning about the French Revolution? Oh, gosh. The Rest is History. I think that's the one. They did a whole series about, it was amazing. Isolation. Still refusing to listen. Some of them aren't going to listen. All right, the one thing I wanted to make sure I covered before, I'm going to make sure I covered today at 48. And I would imagine I am not the only person, having read your comments and been here in the chat with you, that I'm not the only other person that feels like we have definitely entered a new era. Things that, in decluttering, I'm even finding like some novels or something that in the past I would have been interested in reading, or I did read, that I'm just like, who cares? I mean, things have shifted with Pluto moving into Aquarius and with all this and change of energy that's coming. It does feel like this is different. And it does also feel like some people are suddenly, it's like we're fed up on the left. We're fed up. There was a reaction to Luigi, what he allegedly did. He's not been convicted. He's pleaded not guilty. Just saying, allegedly. The reaction to that, more people talking about the French Revolution, talking about really big reactions, really extreme reactions. So I wanted to just remind you of part of what's happening now, because both sides, obviously there's shades of gray, but in general, left and right are, for now, they're just sinking more stubbornly onto their own beliefs. We're able to pull a few from the other side, but on the whole, right now, this is a time of people locking down, not compromising, which is why Aquarius tends to lead to things like revolution, because the strain, everybody, they don't, it's like the anti. Yeah, let me show you something. All right. This is Aquarius right here. Right here, silver. And there is 3, 6, 9. You would think that because, okay, every one of these signs is 30 degrees. You would think that 30, so if we just did 30, 60, 90, 120. So that's good. Libra's is trine Aquarius. So you'd think, yeah, they get along great. Libra is all about the diplomat, the finding common ground, diplomacy. Aquarius could not be less. Thank you, Norma. Small token appreciation. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Thank you. The thing to keep in mind, think of, okay, when you look at the chart here, because this is the basic chart, look at each quadrant, each part, 3 signs in each quadrant, right? The middle sign in each of these quadrants are what's known as the fixed signs. And they are stubborn. They dig their heels in. It's almost as if every time you go into a quadrant, there's the first sign, which is like, okay, I'm going into the quadrant. I'm taking action. I'm doing the thing. And Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, they go. They're called cardinal signs. And then you get to the middle of the quadrants, and they're fixed signs. They're like, nope, it's my quadrant. I'm staying right where I am. I'm not gonna budge. But it also makes them reliable. That too. All right. And then you get to the end of the quadrant, each quadrant, and these are the mutable signs. They're kind of loosey-goosey, like, okay, we're going to be moving quadrants soon, so we need to be flexible, very, very flexible. And that's what you get with Gemini, Virgo, believe it or not, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So Aquarius is a fixed sign. Pluto hasn't been in a fixed sign since the 80s. So I think some people forgot just how fixed the energy is with Aquarius. Not big on the, and not big on the touchy-feely. I mean, it's an air sign. That's what these little symbols around the middle. Fire, earth, air, water. Yeah. And then anyway, so if you're dealing, first of all, we've moved into this whole new thing here, but also if you're dealing with people and you're like, my gosh, it just seems like so many people have just sunk into these hardened extreme views. That's this. That's what's going on. So, but Tigress of Four Leaves is Aquarius rising. Carolyn says, I'm an Aquarian. Our bestie Sarah, she's an Aquarian. I love Aquarians. Aquarians are great. But there are good and bad sides to every sign. And I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. I was married to a Taurian. Talk about stubborn, both of us. But anyway, no, I love Aquarians. I love the creativity, the thinking outside the box, the helping others. It's just great. But it's a fixed sign. Very reliable, but yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out and remind you about what's going on, so that the energy, you'll if you listen for it, you'll hear it. You'll hear it in the news. You'll hear it in people's reactions. You'll see it. Yep. So anyway. All right. So anyway, that's going to do it for me for today. It's 1:03 p.m. here in Chicago. We are here. So at 11:30, these are my 4 YouTube channels. At 11:30, we did this 20-minute staying calm. So you're always welcome there. We just went through the news together and talked about life in general. A little less structured day because it's Christmas Eve. So there's that. And then from 3 to 6 p.m., I will be on Creative Sprint. Sarah is off today because she's at Creative Sprints because her family celebrates on Christmas Eve. My family celebrates on Christmas Day, and I'm hosting this year for the first time. But I will be here on Christmas Day. I will be here for these normal live streams, and then Sarah will be covering Creative Sprints on Christmas Day. So, and then I'm working on more stuff for the color organization. So, all right, that's the plan, Stan. This is what we're doing. So hang in there. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I wish you every blessing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you. All right, hang in there. And remember, you're not alone. We are in this together. There are good days ahead. There are. And I will see you later. Take care. Oh, Design Media FX. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't. I'll see. I don't generally read on the stock market, but I can have a look at. Just throw your questions in the chat before I come on, please. All right. Take care. Sorry. You don't have to pay for questions, just so you know. Thank you. Okay. Bye.